everyone, welcome back. It is October. It is that time of the month for our State of Wrestling. We gave you a little taste of a mini state earlier in the month, the end of September, but we are back with a full review or State of Wrestling, not just a review. With me once again, we have Campo.Reviews, man who reviews TVs, movies, wrestling. He has an Ahsoka review, which I appear on. I'll leave the link in the description box below for you to go check out after you watch this video if you haven't already. And I would just like to ask you guys, it's the end of the year. Let's get this sub count up. If you like this video, like, share, comment, subscribe. It doesn't mean much to you, but it means a lot to me and it helps me out. Let's grow this channel. The more you help me grow this channel, the better the content I can put out for you guys. You'll get more content like this. With so much going on in the world of wrestling, we're even thinking of expanding the State of Wrestling and just have it maybe a bi-weekly even. We'll see. But without your support and without your suggestions, we don't know whether you guys want that or not. So let us know what you guys want. So with that, we are going to go right into the state. Let's talk about the big news in WWE. Nick Aldis is now part of the WWE.
Too good of a wrestler to be in the position they have him in.
Mm-hmm.
This is where they wanted him from before. He didn't want to join because he didn't want to take a
backstage role.
Figure of power,
yeah,
backstage role, be him the manager of anything, but he took it. I don't know what they're gonna do with him. I think it's fine. Like, I'm not upset by that he's there.
It's also, I think a mutual, like, they've come to an agreement because it was solely supposed to be a backstage role, but now he's actually going to be on TV as well.
Oh, okay. So that was but he's gonna wrestle. He has to wrestle, right?
Definitely. There's going to be like that dynamic they had like a few months back before she got injured. Sonya Deville was the general manager of SmackDown. Adam Pearce was the general manager of Raw, but she transitioned to more of an in-ring role because of the fact that she kept getting involved in other people's matches. I think we're going to get to the point where someone's going to, like we saw it in the segment with Dominic Mysterio. He was egging him on and egging him on. I think eventually it's going to lead to a Dominic Mysterio. That'll be his first match back.
But okay, this is the problem that you have here, I think, now, is Nick Aldis is a crusher. Like, he's a legit top wrestler in the world.
National treasure.
He's either like, let's be realistic in terms of in-ring work and like his level of popularity outside of WWE. He's equal to, on the level of, or above Cody Rhodes.
Oh yeah.
And so you can't just have him come here and be a dildo and he's gonna lose to
Dominique.
Like Dominique for Putty. You know what I mean?
Oh, I don't think he will. I think he'll absolutely crush Dominic.
He's like a legit guy. He's wrestled all over the world.
And he's one of the toughest guys out there too right now. Like, he's a legit tough guy.
That's what I'm saying. And it's like, it's a weird buy for WWE when you could, he has so much name recognition. Why wouldn't you use him as a wrestler?
Yeah. I don't think there's a spot for him right now.
It's too top heavy. I mean, he could be Gunther.
Yeah.
I mean, he's on Raw though.
Rey Mysterio. Even
Dominic. US champion? Who's US champion?
Yeah. But Dominic's the North American champion. Why don't you have him?
I want Nick Aldis to win an NXT belt. Let's go.
I don't know. It's something.
He should be NXT champion at least.
Yeah. But I mean, so he's been hired to play the general manager role on SmackDown. This is also because they're also in TV negotiation rights. So this is really a heavy play for that as well. And his first order of business, he announces who he wants from the Raw roster because Jey Uso was traded to Raw from SmackDown. So now it's time to pay the piper. And who do we get coming to SmackDown?
Kevin Owens.
So now you're
breaking up a tag team.
Yep, breaking up another tag team, which didn't need to break up.
So hold on, we broke up two of the two best tag teams they have, not named Street Profits, and for no reason at all, and they're both going to end up in tag teams in those other promotions. Oh wait, one of them is
already a champion. Yes,
get out of town.
But the thing is, there's nowhere for Kevin Owens to go on SmackDown.
Yeah, I agree.
He's not, like, he's faced Roman Reigns so many times. It's pointless if he beats him now.
And I think that Kevin Owens is a bigger name as an individual than Jey Uso is. Jey Uso's a bigger name as the Usos.
Yeah.
But as an individual, Kevin Owens is going to put more butts in
But
seats.
Jey Uso is going to slide right into that top mid-card role perfectly. I think he's going to be the guy that's going to beat Gunther and have a really good run as the Intercontinental Champion.
And that's fine. He's been Intercontinental Champion before, right?
No, I don't think so. No, I think only none of the Usos have won individual belts. So
they might be on a list.
Yeah, they might be on a list coming soon.
Shameless plug for a list that doesn't exist yet.
Just yet. We've been teasing it for a few weeks. Trust me, we're gonna finish the story. But yeah, like it's pointless. Like we were saying about like how we're breaking up another tag team, which is already the booking of this division is absolutely like
horrendous. It's not just the worst in all of wrestling. It's the worst that this company has ever been for booking tag teams.
Yeah. And this is also going against the company that has one person as your Ring of Honor tag team champions, who is also your world champion. And right now, a company that Bishamon is only one member.
Yeah. I mean, and it's odd because I mean, and there's no issue with New Japan's tag team booking. It's they don't have tag teams to book. In WWE, it's an odd situation for them that they could make tag teams, but they just don't want to. And I hope Triple H tries to correct that.
Yeah, I love tag team wrestling. Like, I mean, yes, I understand that there's rumors coming back about FTR coming back to the WWE, but I don't think that's happening. I think
and they're on a 5-year contract. They didn't even finish 1 year of it yet.
Yeah. And we were also going back too about even not just the men's division, it's the women's division that's absolutely atrocious too. You had your NXT women's tag team champions in Alba Fire and Isla Dawn come up to the main roster, lose immediately to Ronda and Shayna Baszler, and now none of them are seen on the roster.
I want to emphasize this. Like I said before, with the men's roster, even in their women's division, they have a lot of really good wrestlers. Their women's division is strong.
Mm-hmm.
It's more poorly booked than just the men's tag division is the entire women's division. They don't know what to do. Now you're adding Jade Cargill to the mix, who, yes, name recognition, cool. She's very pretty, fantastic.
But she's already she's going immediately into a feud with Charlotte Flair, and she's going to lose to her.
That's what I'm saying. And she can't, it's not, no. This is my argument that I've been making with people. So a lot of WWE fans, like I said, there's so many at my work, and they're all anti anything else that's wrestling.
Yeah, I've been called an AEWist. I go, no, I'm just a wrestling fan. I love wrestling.
I keep saying that. People send me memes all the time making fun of AEW and being like, oh, look, here's your stupid wrestling. I'm like, bro, I will die on this hill. I'm New Japan. I'm Pro Wrestling Noah.
Over WWE.
Over AEW even.
Yeah.
I just watch AEW Weekly because there's no New Japan Weekly show, and I hate WWE Weekly TV. I'll be honest.
And I can't watch Strong.
I like watching WWE pay-per-views. I like,
and that's where I draw the line.
I like a lot of the wrestlers in WWE. I like a lot of the matches for WWE, but their weekly TV is like hilariously badly written. It's like a bunch of children wrote a show, and I'm okay if you guys like it. That's fine. You can.
And going back to what we were talking about at the beginning of the show too, like those boos for Dominic were so fake.
And listen, now it's gotten to the point where even people outside of us have been coming to me and being like, I've been paying attention and I noticed that how fake stuff is. They turned down Dominic Mysterio's mic and they turned the crowd's volume up.
Yeah.
And it's like, I know they're doing that. You could hear it because there's times even at the pay-per-view where nobody in the crowd is making noise, but there's all this noise happening.
Yeah.
Because you know what they do? I'm not going to sit here and pretend there's fake sound pumped in. But what they do is they mic the crowd and then they amplify the sound.
What's it called? They manipulate the sound.
Yeah. They're using the crowd noise that exists and they're just turning the volume up on it.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. But if you go on Reddit threads, it's probably one of the worst places to go for any type of wrestling talk because that community is so toxic and they're so pro WWE.
And they're also so perverted.
Yes.
But back to the women's thing. So you have all these people. You're going to introduce Jade Cargill. You're going to give her such a massive push. She's can't wrestle. people are telling me, oh, you're just mad because she left AEW. I'm like, I'm happy that she left AEW because she can't wrestle.
I'd rather
wrestle.
I'd rather watch Ruby Soho, who can probably wrestle circles around Jade Cargill.
And we'll get to that in a second when we get to AEW, because I have a lot of shit to say about that. But
it's always the same. It's always the same. It's always Natalya. It's always Charlotte. It's
why
always
are we doing that, right? Why? And like we talked about this earlier,
there's so much talent out
there's
there.
so many. They sign away all these wrestlers from other companies. They throw big contracts at them and they don't use them.
Like Emma.
Which is a great example. Which, by the way, you went out of your way to change your handle. She shut down her OnlyFans. She shut down, or whatever she had. She shut it all down.
Yeah.
She changed her handle on all her socials, and now people took all her old social handles, and she's like begging to get them back. Well, that's your own fault.
You shouldn't have changed it.
That's sidebar. But she was really good. She was progressing. She's one of the few people, and I don't.
She was killing it on the indies.
And I know, like we said, people like Asuka, and they don't mind getting paid to stay home and do nothing. But it's like, if you're a wrestler and you're about to get a massive push and then you get signed to WWE, you're getting the money, but you go there and you get nothing to work with. You sit at home for 5 weeks in a row, 6 weeks in a row.
Eric Young is another example. He re-signed and never got once. He got killed by Diener and then went back, and all of a sudden he's alive in Impact.
Hey, he's alive and well. It's like when PCO got killed.
Yeah, but PCO is like a Frankenstein, so he'll always come back to life.
He's also a French Canadian.
They don't die. They don't die. They have all the maple syrup in their blood.
Exactly. But anyways, I'm
confused.
I'm confused with WWE because there's so many good wrestlers. There's so many good female wrestlers, but they can't build a tag team division in either section of it.
Yeah.
For the life of them. Stop breaking up tag teams. I don't understand the logic.
Yes. And that's exactly what's going to happen with Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is probably going to get into a tag team with someone on SmackDown, a feud with Solo Sikoa and Jimmy
That's exactly what it's going to be.
Unless because John Cena's going back to film Peacemaker Season 2. Is it Kevin Owens and LA Knight?
And we're just going to restart the Bloodline feud, but now with Kevin Owens and LA Knight?
Yeah.
Which the Bloodline, okay, listen, the Bloodline's got to die. Yeah. There's talks about putting The Rock's daughter.
Yes, that was my next talking point. I wanted to talk about NXT. This past week on NXT, this is perfect segue into what I was going to talk about. There was a scene on NXT where Paul Heyman is talking to Ava Raine, because now the whole schism dyad, they're all split up. Those two guys, the grizzled young veterans, whatever they were called, they're gone. They asked for their release and they've been released. Joe Gacy is having this whole identity crisis type of story, which I kind of like. I like this identity crisis.
He's a good character. I actually like him.
Yeah. And so someone they want to push, like The Rock's daughter, she's kind of like off to the... Yeah, she's not very good, but...
In any aspect of wrestling.
Yeah.
Fine. You want to use her? Fine. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Sorry for swearing.
Bring in Nia Jax too if you want.
But it's like,
well, there you go. You bring in Nia Jax, you bring in her, and now you have a women's tag team. Let them go for it.
Yeah, and then she can learn how to hurt people, and it's cool.
And it's cool.
But seriously, yeah, that's fine. I would be okay with that. Bolster your tag division with real tag teams like the Viking Raiders and let them be tag teams forever. Leave the Street Profits alone.
Yeah. Well, Street Profits, I think, may be going on that trios run. Like you have.
But I like that. I like that whole thing they're doing. This is WWE sometimes hits things out of the park.
Yeah.
And I like that maybe we're getting a new Hurt Business. I like that. We talked about this before.
Mm-hmm.
I like some of the things you're doing. I like LA Knight and John Cena. I like that Carlito's back. I like all these little things that's going on. But it's just
how are you going to piece them together now and create a cohesive story?
There's so much in between nonsense that goes on. There's too much WWE TV, right? Because you have 3 hours of Raw, you have main event, you have 2 hours of SmackDown,
you have NXT,
2 hours of NXT.
Because now NXT is factoring into main roster stuff as well, because you have two main roster wrestlers as your champions in NXT.
Yes. yes, granted, AEW has 3 shows now, but nobody watches Rampage, so it doesn't matter. And Ring of Honor is its own entire entity in my eyes. Like,
even though your Ring of Honor champions are people who aren't even in Ring of Honor,
which is true, but it's like, you know what I mean, right? It's like there's Ring of Honor fans specifically for Ring of Honor, right? It's like NXT kind of has that, but now they're crossing over so much with the main roster.
Well, NXT beat AEW in the ratings this past Tuesday because on Tuesday AEW had to air because of baseball.
Yeah, and
they stacked that roster with The Undertaker and John Cena.
And it's WWE. You're not going to outdo it. We talked about this, okay? And I don't know if you're ready to segue yet, but I'll just say it anyways. AEW needs to stick in their fucking lane. I said this before. Impact nailed it because they're not going to go big. They're going to stay in those mid-size arenas
the best of the indies kind of thing. Yeah.
They're going to stay indie size for the most part. Like NWA just got a TV deal.
TV deal. That was one of my talking points for later.
Which we will talk about that, but they're staying in the studio structure, right?
Like old school, the way they used to be.
Yes. Like when JCP was it. And AEW needs to stay in those Coca-Cola Coliseums.
Yeah,
they got to stay in the Sears Center, not in Chicago's main stadium.
Yeah,
they have to learn, and they got to pick and choose where they're going. You got to pick cities where you're popular. In the South,
not Las Vegas.
No, West, they're not fucking popular, man. You got to stay in the South and on the East Coast and in Canada. That's where they're.
The only place maybe would be California because of the Bucks and all those guys.
Okay, but that's fair, right? Like, but when you're spending so much time going to Idaho and have like 4 shows in Washington, right? In Seattle, and then you're going.
Well, that'll sell because you have Darby Allin and Daniel Bryan.
But they didn't sell the pay-per-view. Half the arena wasn't sold.
Yeah, that's true.
On a pay-per-view, and that Wrestle Dream was a great pay-per-view for me. It was like top 3 of the year. And Brian Zane even said it was even with the amount of people there, it was a great experience. But the other side of the arena was empty.
Yeah.
It was only like all the way around. So like the flat side on the other side was empty.
Yeah. But yeah, like that's how you put yourself out of business. That's how you lose money.
Right. And I understand that they have money to burn and that their TV stuff is doing well because a 6 rating, which what's what they got, a 0.6 is good. Because baseball gets a 0.6.
Yeah.
Like,
and
hockey gets a 0.2.
They're top in the 18 to 45 demographic as well.
Yeah, and I understand that, and they have big sponsorships, right? Because they're on TBS.
Well, not Domino's anymore after the Nick Gage incident, but
they're Warner Brothers and
Warner
all that
Media
stuff, right? So I get that, but they need to stay in their lane of where they're.
But you said though they also had the wherewithal to know they're not going to, even though they get the same 0.6 rating as baseball does, they know they're not going to compete against the divisional series match in baseball, so they moved it to Tuesday. Why didn't they move it to Thursday so they didn't compete with AEW with NXT?
Because he has this fetish for competing with them.
It was also his birthday that day, I think.
Right, and he wanted to make it Title Tuesday because he likes to do that.
But the alliteration would have worked on Thursday.
I get it, but it's usually a Title Tuesday for them, right? They never have done Thursday. Anyways, that's not the point.
Yeah.
Go sell in your college stadiums in the 14,000 seat arenas that when you make it for wrestling, it's like 9,000 people. That's where you sell and sell those out and enjoy the feeling of like a big indie vibe, right? You don't need that WWE vibe where I'm telling you, because we've been now. Even WWE in the Coca-Cola Coliseum didn't sell out. Even WWE when I went for SmackDown didn't sell out. It's not.
People find, especially in a post-pandemic world, people are finding other ways to spend disposable income. They're not going to drop, especially the prices that they're asking for.
And that's what I'm saying. AEW is trying to charge as much as WWE's charging, and you're not going to get that.
No, because you got
I'm going to bring my kids to watch WWE, so that's going to take up extra seats. I'm not bringing my kids to watch AEW. I mean, I would, but most people aren't.
But like, even for me, like nieces and nephews, I'd take them if there's a New Japan show. I'd take them to that. Like a Forbidden Door. I'd want them definitely want them, right?
Because New Japan is like super violent and realistic, but it's also very wholesome.
Yeah.
Like it's oddly wholesome. You're like,
well, I mean,
we just
reviewed the destruction in They even called it Destruction in Ryugoku. But it was one of the best feel-good shows of the year.
Yeah, but you rarely ever see kids at Japanese wrestling.
No.
The crowd is a lot older. There's very few younger.
There are a few kids, and sometimes they interact pretty. Like there was a few months back.
It's rare though. Like when I went to, especially the house show for WWE, like the majority of the crowd was kids.
Yeah, because house shows are a little cheaper than like televised shows.
Yeah, I think you
can get tickets for 20
cheaper.
Yeah, you can get tickets.
They weren't that cheap. They was like $80.
But that's the thing, right? Like I remember, like Impact charges, like hell, they were giving tickets away for free.
Yeah, they're like $35 for Impact, $50.
Yeah,
you can get those special seats that they're selling in England, the Titanium Club, for it's like 120 pounds, and you get front row seats, you get autographs, you get to meet and greet.
It's a VIP service. Yeah. So they know what they're doing, Impact. They know what they're doing.
And I know we're way off topic, but we're still on topic, kind of.
Yes, no, that's like, the whole purpose of the state, right?
I don't understand the logic of AEW constantly trying to compete. And by the way, Tony Khan got told by multiple people big up in AEW to shut up, stop talking. Like, stop tweeting, don't do it anymore. Because it's making them look bad.
Yeah, it is.
You're going to lose fans like that because the people who like WWE are going to be like, well, I don't want to watch the show anymore.
Yeah, it's kind of like the way Impact was, let's say about 10 years ago when they brought back Hogan and they brought back Bischoff and they brought back Kevin Nash. And they were trying to redo the whole Monday Night War thing. That almost killed that company.
And now
it
look
took
where
them
we are.
years. It took them years to get back where they are now.
Scott D'Amore is the one who brought them back. Without Scott D'Amore, they do not come back. They are going bankrupt. It's over. He saved this company, and shout out to Impact because their product is very good right now.
Yep.
Minus the dumb kayfabe shit, but like,
yeah, they're one of the companies that still hold. But I mean, look how stacked the women's roster is in WWE. Look how much better Impact is doing with less.
But Impact's roster is stacked. I would personally say Impact has a better name recognition women's division, at least for me who watches all of wrestling, than AEW does.
Oh yeah.
AEW right now, especially with the injuries, it's getting scary. So I don't know when you're ready to segue into AEW.
That's our next talking point. We're already into it.
The women's division in AEW is horrid.
Yes.
Like, not the booking for it. The actual women's division is
ring talent.
Scary bad. It's like Toni Storm and occasionally Hikaru Shida, and then nothing. Yeah. Because I love Julia Hart. She's not all the way there yet. Chris Statlander's not carrying any of these divisions on her back as much as I like her.
No.
Sky Blue's not ready. Athena's being overly used in Ring of Honor, and we can't use her here. I would have loved Athena to win the women's title, by the way. That would have been, I would have give her both fucking titles.
Just have her be like the female Samoa Joe.
Yeah, have her do that. Have her win the TBS one too, and just make this weird storyline where she has all the 3 belts and every woman hates her. The whole women's division is against her because she has all 3 belts.
And then, hey, you know what? Billy Stark gets tired of it
and wins one of the belts. This guy's a genius.
Why do you think I'm booking for Impact, right?
But you know what I mean? I don't get it.
No, it's true though.
It's time to get Chris Statlander moved off the TBS belt, and if you want to move her to the women's division belt, fine.
Yeah. But I mean, there's just too many injuries right now. Like you said, they took the belt. Like that's one of our talking. Let's go right into that. Hikaru Shida is now your only 3-time women's champion. They took
which
the
is
belt
good. I like that. But at the same time, we didn't need to give her back the belt.
We didn't need to give Saraya the belt either.
That's right. In my opinion, we talked about this actually. I think I talked about it with you. When you had the match with Toni Storm, why didn't you just give Toni Storm back the belt and have her transition into this character that she is? And it would have been amazing. She's the best character worker you have in the female division. She's the best wrestler you have in the female division. I
think she's going to be building a little bit of a stable because there's talks of Mariah May leaving.
Which I was going to bring that up. But you know what? I would love that. I think
like this, like what you call it? The noir? Yeah.
That have won us completely over, and it's Megan Bayne and
Mariah May,
because they came out of nowhere, especially Mariah May. She skyrocketed from like someone who we were like, oh, I'm not a huge fan, to like holy crap, she's
awesome. Yeah. But that's
Megan Bayne literally came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, we did not see that. I'm watching clips, like she's a beast. Like an absolute beast.
Yeah. and even like you're right though, and I think Mariah May will fit into this stable. Maybe even like have like a trio of them, like that, her and like, and what's her name, who's not doing anything, Taya Valkyrie, be part of that too. I think she'd fit into that as well.
Yeah, and you know what? They're all Commonwealth countries, right? Because it's the UK, Australia,
And Canada.
And Canada. Well, she's technically Toni Storm is from New Zealand, but
Yeah,
she lived
it's
in
still
Australia.
it's still a Commonwealth
Yeah.
country.
But she lived in Australia, so
Yeah. But like, that's the thing. There's so much potential there. But like, so you took the belt off Saraya. Saraya's she never was ready at 100%.
No, but it's okay. I understand why they did it. But when we're looking at it from like the bigger picture, when you take a step back, now it feels like, what do we do? If that's Putty, answer him.
Yeah.
But it's like, now what do we do? Because you couldn't really do anything with Saraya except put her against Toni Storm, and then you had her lose to Toni Storm.
Yeah.
And it felt like we weren't getting a rematch after, right? And you don't have Britt Baker, you don't have Jamie Hayter. That's your big loss, right?
But like, that's the thing. Is Britt Baker hurt, or is she just not being used?
I believe she's not 100%.
Okay.
Because we thought for sure in the 4-way match they were just going to give the belt back to Britt Baker for safety purposes, but they didn't. They gave it to Saraya, so we were like, okay, there's obviously
there's something going on here. Yeah. And I think it's also to have that feel good moment of Saraya winning in her home country, kind
and
of
that's
thing.
Fine, like I said, right? But then when you
but
go
then
deeper...
again, the purpose of that was also just to give. Oh, now she's champion in 2 companies. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's like her legend is built out of shit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Her house is built out of shit that she lives in.
Yeah.
She's never been good. I'm sorry. It is what it is.
She's overrated. She's not.
I mean, Ruby Soho, I would have liked better. But
yeah, but I mean, even what I was saying a few months ago is have Ruby Soho win that TBS championship and then transition that. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
well, hey, we got the fans right now, I think, of 2 companies maybe to not like us, but I think I want to push this a bit further. All right,
let's do it.
I'm gonna leave the women's division.
Okay, let's go into the men's.
Take the belt right now off MJF. I'm so sick of MJF. Like, it's not even that he's bad or the character is bad or he can't talk. I just don't care anymore. He doesn't need to be the champion.
There's no interest there for me.
There's zero interest. And even though the matches he's having are good, I just don't care. And now you put him in the storyline that we were all liking, and now the storyline's cut off because of all this shit.
But the thing is, too, like, that's the thing. Like, we were saying this too. Is he only contracted for certain amount of matches a year, or certain amount?
I don't know,
because we said this in the other video, I think, as well, or is it when we didn't record? But like, we were saying about that too. MJF is in a position right now, whereas like he's the Ring of Honor tag team. We were talking about this because Bishamon in the last video. He's in a position right now that he's the ROH tag team champion, and he's defended that belt more times than he's defended the AEW heavyweight championship.
Take that belt off him too.
Take them all off.
I want a beltless feud with Wardlow to come back.
Yes, I agree.
I would be very interested in that. And then,
but you know what? If MJF wants to leave, let him leave. There's no big loss there.
I mean, I like MJF. I don't want him to leave. I just think right now, in terms of the way I'm watching the storylines build and the way the characters are growing, there's 2 people for me. You either give it to Jay White or you give it to Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
And that's
Jay White technically is holding on to the belt right now.
Yes, right. But to me, those are proper heels. MJF was a mouthpiece heel, like CM Punk style, where he's not really a heel. He just talks a lot of shit.
Yeah.
He doesn't. His heelish is like, oh, I hit you with my ring. Where Jay White's like, they're full on gang beating people up. You know, like.
Now the thing is though, does Jay White's name in North America hold the same type of weight as MJF's name does?
No, but
I don't think the crowd is too familiar, so I don't think they're ready for a Jay White.
But what I do think you can do, and still keep MJF in that picture, is have Jay White actually win the title, have him cheat to win, because now MJF is a face. Have him cheat to win, and then create a feud out of that, and let them go a couple matches and give MJF back the belt.
Or
there needs to be some kind of change.
Or MJF and Juice or sorry, not MJF. Jay and Juice beat MJF for the ROH belts.
That's fine. Or have the Kingdom beat him and continue, and then help that other Adam Cole storyline. But something's got to change there.
Yeah,
and
because they gave, speaking of belt changes again, we had the international championship go back to Orange Cassidy.
Which, okay, let's not pretend we don't like that Orange Cassidy is it.
Yeah.
But I very much liked Rey Fenix as champion, and I wanted to see that go for a while.
But he's hurt as well.
I would have liked to see Penta win, but also you can't make Penta fight Rey Fenix, so we lost in that one. But
you could have given it to someone like a Ricky Starks.
But I think we'll get to that. But you could have gave it to, I don't know, Jack Perry or Sammy Guevara.
Yeah, Takeshita.
Yeah, like I think there's a lot of people that you potentially could have gave it to. You could have gave it to Claudio and I wouldn't have been mad.
Yeah.
Orange Cassidy just feels like we just told a whole storyline about how we had to get the belt off this guy, and now you just gave it back to him.
Yeah. I think it's going to be Orange. Once Mox is good to go again, Mox is winning it back.
The tag team booking I get, because FTR had themselves kind of booked into a corner.
Yeah.
But
they've beaten everybody.
Yeah. So now what we get though is we can have these guys be transitional champions. It puts them over a bit.
But they've beaten FTR, so at least it gives them that little bit of clout.
They're gonna beat a couple more people for sure. They're gonna get to the Bucks. The Bucks are gonna win, and it's gonna lead to maybe down the road some point Aussie Open takes it from the Bucks, or FTR builds back up and wins and beats the Bucks again for the title.
Yeah.
Which is fine with me, but then you have to figure out what to do with the trios belts.
Yeah, because they're kind of in a state of limbo too.
But I'm okay with Ricky Starks being a tag team belt, and I think it's nice for Big Bill. He's a journeyman, and he's actually a really good ring worker. That match was fantastic.
Well, he's the better ring worker than Enzo.
Yeah. But that legit match where they lost the titles was really good.
Yeah, it was. It really was a good match. I was just shocked, and I thought, is it just change for the sake of change?
I can't speak to that.
Yeah.
I can't. But I think that is what it is. And then what was the other one?
There was the Sheeta wins. Sheeta got her Sheeta got her belt back. But it's a weird state of flux with. Sorry, do you want in or do you want out? Make up your mind. Sorry, the cat's trying to get in. He's trying to get out.
Cat doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. But it's like, make up your mind. Like, there's so many, like, who's the champion? Who's not the champion? Who do we got? Who do we don't got? Like they made this big thing about Miro returning against Powerhouse.
We could have made Miro the fucking You could have made Andrade the international champion.
But like I said, you made this big thing. Miro returns, beats Powerhouse Hobbs. CJ Perry comes back to help him, and he doesn't want her help. And now, where'd they go?
Yeah. Multiverse. But yeah, I know we're not off on the wrong here, and I think yes, okay. Am I a great big fan of the in-ring product of Ring of Honor and AEW? Sure, I am, but I also like the in-ring product of NXT.
Yeah,
and I rag on WWE a lot, but right now I don't know what the F is happening in AEW at all. Like I don't understand. This is Tony... where is Jack Perry?
Yeah.
You turned MJF face. You have a heel right there to face him that has a storyline. Now you have Samoa Joe who wants the belt, but Jay White has the belt. Like, what is happening?
Yeah. And when the best thing about AEW is Christian Cage.
Oh man, but he's so good.
Yes.
And we didn't even talk about that. I don't give a right now. At the state where the storyline's being told, I don't care about the Edge thing at all.
No.
Zero.
But Christian Cage is there.
So good. I hope this escalates to something really special. The match with Edge and Luchasaurus was nice.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like I need more. AEW is so overloaded with good heels. They have the opposite problem of WWE.
Yeah.
It's all heels and no faces, and WWE's all faces and no heels.
No heels. Roman's your only heel. Because I wouldn't call Seth the heel, but I wouldn't call Shinsuke a heel either. They're both kind of tweeners.
I mean, it is what it is. I can't really say much more on AEW. Just
Yeah,
get it together.
I don't know. They went from having such great potential and being like, to like, what the hell are they doing?
Should we go into Ring of Honor for a sec?
Sure, let's jump into Ring of Honor. Let's jump in the ring.
Get rid of Eddie Kingston. Send him to WWE or something.
Yeah.
I don't like to be mean because like I'm not gonna pretend like I can wrestle. I say this all the time.
Yeah.
This is wrestling.
This is Tony Khan. This is Tony Khan. Like Eddie Kingston has been on the indies
Tony Khan, like,
right?
Yeah, I love you guys.
But it's like Eddie Kingston's been on the indie circuit for so long. There's a reason why Eddie Kingston was on the indie circuit for so long and nobody signed him. He's a decent in-ring worker, but he's not.
He's a great character and he's a great talker, but he's a guy that should be part of a faction. He shouldn't be world champion.
So this is Tony Khan giving Eddie Kingston everything he ever wanted. You want to be this champion? Sure. You want to be that champion? Sure. And it's like, I don't want Eddie Kingston at all.
I would like them to move the New Japan Strong Belt to somebody young who's gonna.
Well, there is going to be, I think, is it at
the next thing
at the Fighting Spirit, right? Fighting Spirit in October. There's going to be like a 4-way match with Kojima and Fred Rosser and a few others. I would love Satoshi Kojima.
Yeah, I you know what I would like? I would like what's that guy's name? Mario Andretti.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like him to win that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's probably not going to happen. But like you see the match, Fred Ross and Kojima, they're putting so much effort into putting over Eddie Kingston. He beat Suzuki.
Yeah,
he beat all these guys.
Perfect. Kojima, Rosser, Jeff Cobb, and Alex Coughlin. Have Jeff Cobb win it, and have him absolutely decimate Eddie Kingston.
Yeah, I'll take that. I would love that. That would be lovely.
Or
he's defending
the belt that night too against the Hanare. Maybe Hanare wins it.
No, they're gonna put Eddie Kingston over again. Kojima's gonna win so that he could fight another legend and get put over.
Yeah,
this is what I don't like. It's just constantly putting him against legend wrestlers to put him over.
Yeah,
I don't understand. I don't understand. Claudio was a unit.
Yeah. And now Claudio's kind of lost in the shuffle too. He was but that's the thing. Claudio, when he was champ, he was always in tag matches. He was always in, like, you know what I mean? He was
give me Wheeler Yuta against Shibata again.
How about this? Wheeler Yuta beats Eddie Kingston. Wheeler Yuta becomes ROH champion and creates a rivalry and a
Daniel
split.
Garcia. Give me Daniel Garcia wins the title.
There you go. Anybody. But
hey, but you know what?
Ooh, that's going to be a good match. This Fighting Spirit card looks pretty good. We'll run through that.
With your very limited amount of women you have, good on Ring of Honor in their women's division.
Yeah. Like, I really like this dynamic with Billy Starks and Athena. Like, it's not
I like the tag team with Diamante and Mercedes.
Yeah, Martinez, not Monet.
Yeah,
which we did get a little tease. They're talking about her again coming back to New Japan.
Yes, so that's another thing that I thought was very odd. There was all those rumors about AEW, but apparently she's going back to New Japan.
Yeah, that's what I understand too. Like, she's going to do the New Japan Stardom thing, which is fine. Like, I mean,
fine for me.
Before she got hurt, she was really starting to pick up steam.
She was doing the best wrestling of her career.
Yeah, and she was really starting to understand that New Japan Stardom style. So we'll see where they go. But going back to what we're saying, let's since we're already talking, let's move into quickly. Let's talk about the NWA TV deal. Okay. We'll touch on that real quick. NWA, Billy Corgan announced he's bringing back the territories because they just merged with what was the company they just merged with? They did a show.
I don't remember the name. I know what you're talking about. I didn't come with notes.
Yeah, this is on the fly, but like, he did just announce that he's bringing back the territories. So it's now, this company is now, it's not Evolve, it's something else. But it was a different company. No, it's not PWG. It was a different one, but let's see. I'm going to quickly look it up.
I'm going to see.
But we were saying
Pumpkins?
Yes, exactly. The Smashing Pumpkins Wrestling Association. It is.
SPWC?
Yes.
SPWA?
SPWA. They are bringing the promotion. There it is right there. They have Exodus Exo Pro. So they've merged with Exo Pro. Now they're known as NWA Exo Pro, and that's going to be that territory. And then they're going to do like they used to do with the champion touring the territories when they're not doing TV kind of thing, which is good. In a way, I like that idea. They also signed a TV deal. There's no details on the TV deal yet. He said
TV deals.
Right. Billy Corgan was saying that they're still going to have that presence on YouTube, but their weekly show is going to move to a TV format. But they're going to keep it in that JCP arena that Jim Crockett's. Yeah.
I like that. I wish that they kept Rampage in a thing like that.
Mm-hmm. You want in or out?
Or Ring of Honor even.
Yeah, because now they're recording Ring of Honor back to back with Collision and Rampage and
I think if you separate those wrestlers from the roster and only use them together for like big situations, and you treat it like how it was on Dark, where it was like how Impact films in the soundstage. Yeah. You're gonna sell out every week because people want to come watch Ring of Honor. Sell out your 6 or 7 rows of tickets.
Even what NXT does all their shows except some of the big shows from Full Sail.
Yeah, and that's what they should do.
And it's always, and you see the same people in the crowd. NWA, the same thing. There's that guy who's dressed up in the orange Santa suit. That's at every show.
But you want that because you're selling. You know you're gonna sell.
Yeah. And that's exactly it. Like NXT knows that. Like that's why they're doing it at a Full Sail in NXT. Unless it's like a major show, they only do maybe about 4 or 5 shows outside of the Full Sail.
Yeah, I think if you're like Impact, right? You film all your stuff. Like they're not doing it anymore. They're actually like on the move again.
Yeah.
But you film all your stuff out of the soundstage, and the only time when you don't is the times when you do your pay-per-view and you have the follow-up episode of Impact, and you tape it in that place, and then you go back to the soundstage for 3 weeks, and then your next pay-per-view.
Yeah. Which is exactly what they should be doing. But like Ring of Honor, like you said, needs to separate from AEW. They got to keep the 2 shows separate.
Yeah, they got to bring back that feeling of Ring
of Honor. The best indies, yeah.
Yeah, like it doesn't have that right now. It feels like a spin-off of AEW.
AEW Light, it feels like. Yeah. But
there's nobody there. No. I don't know if you've watched Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
There's nobody there.
Empty. Completely empty, the arenas.
There's like they make it so like the semicircle that's around the ring of seats has like 8 rows of people full, and then the rest of the arena is just empty.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like, was it you sent me the other day about like you think you sent me something about that the other day as well? Like, I can't remember if I remember it, but you sent it on Instagram. Same type of idea. It's like it's I don't know. It doesn't have that same heart that Ring of Honor had back in the mid 2000s. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and if anybody wants to, especially Impact as well, you can go on their YouTube pages and you can watch free matches, like whole pay-per-views for free from Ring of Honor on YouTube.
Yeah.
And some of the matches are great. Some of the stuff where Young Bucks versus the Kingdom and stuff like that.
Yeah, there was even that clip I sent you with the Young Bucks and Kevin Steen that back then. So I think this is, and if AEW is not careful, I think even NW, because right now Impact is the better show over Ring of Honor. Even though Ring of Honor has some of the better talent, I still think Impact is the better show. And I also think NWA with the territories thing and the TV deal, I think they may beat out Ring of Honor too. Like AEW it's in a scary position right now where they might be WCW'd.
They got to just avoid it.
Yeah. Because they're doing exactly what WCW did at the end. Weird. It's a state of discombobulation with the talent. You don't know what champions are what. They have their fingers in too many different pies that they don't know which one tastes the best. If that makes sense.
Like, okay, no, we came out of All In, All Out. We came out of All Out. and everything was humming. There was all this movement of titles, and it was all lining up for like this new era. They kept talking about the new eras coming in. Everyone, we watched the titles move in, and everything was looking great. There were so many good feuds. Boom! Then everybody got injured on the whole roster.
Yeah. So, but anyway,
hold on. Last thing.
Yeah.
Just generally for this company, I'm not saying tone down the wrestling, because I think that's the product you're selling, and if you do that, you become WWE and you become irrelevant. Tone down Jon Moxley wrestling every week. Tone down, like they can have a week off. Like you can have Jay White come out and talk and not have to wrestle this week. Do you know what I mean?
Take a couple weeks off with Eddie Kingston.
Yeah. Like I only think in my head the worry of like, is Adam
Copeland?
Is Adam Copeland gonna wrestle every week?
That's what he said he wants to do.
Yeah, but you can't do that.
No. But let's take a trip across the Pacific. Let's talk about New Japan real quick. New Japan has a few shows coming up. We just did a review this week on Destruction in Ryogoku. Fantastic show. They got a couple New Japan Strong shows coming up this month and next month. We got Royal Quest 3 in England, which just aired this past weekend. Hopefully that's televised, and hopefully we'll have a review of that for you. And then next week, we also have the Fighting Spirit Unleashed, where you thought it was just a game name, but it's an actual show. And that's where that match is. We got Julia versus Heian for the Strong Championship. We have Sonata and Yuya Uemura, get this, against Naito and Takahashi.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, could this be the start of a feud between Uemura and Takahashi, and Uemura somehow puts himself in that junior heavyweight championship feud?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
I guess he is going to be in the junior division.
Yeah. So get this. We have Hikuleo and ELP defending the belts against Alex Zane and Lance Archer.
Oh my God. This is what I'm talking about. Why haven't AEW called Alex Zane and Lance Archer to come fight in AEW?
Yeah. Right. 8-man tag team match. Tanahashi, Mystico, Atlantis, and Atlantis Jr. against Rocky Romero, Tiger Mask, Soberano Jr., and Adrian. Like,
that's a really good match.
Right? Tom Lawler versus Gabe Kidd.
Who's La Catalina fighting?
She's not on this card.
What?
Unfortunately not.
This is an outrage. I'm outraged. La Catalina, please DM me. This is very important.
But they haven't announced anything for the other show, Lone Star Shootout. But if we do find it somewhere, I know they have it on Rev Pro on their streaming site, Royal Quest 3. So maybe we might be able to.
Maybe that's what we'll do.
Spend the shillings and purchase
a couple farthings.
Right, a couple farthings, and watch the show. And but let's move into probably our final talking point. Impact has their biggest show of the year coming up, Bound for Glory.
I mean, it should be Slammiversary, but okay.
Well, they always call Bound for Glory their biggest show of the year.
Yeah,
but I mean, they are putting together a stacked card. Like, they have the main event. Like,
tell me about it in England.
No, that's in England. That's right. Yeah, which is sold out.
By the way, this is huge for them.
No, Bound for Glory is in Chicago.
England. What's the one in England then?
The one after that.
Okay, then whoopity doo dah. They're all the same.
Turning Point is in England.
Okay, tell me about Boiling Over.
Boiling Over. We have Ospreay versus Mike Bailey.
Okay, that's good.
We have Alex Shelley defending against Josh.
That's good. Chris
Sabin defending against Kenta.
That's great. Hold on, wait, what? Okay, continue.
Yeah. The Rascals defending against ABC.
That's amazing. Hold on, this is the best card of the year right now.
Okay. MK Ultra against Deonna Purrazzo and Tasha Steelz.
Wow. I would not expect that. I guess we missed some weekly storyline.
Here's a 4-way match. PCO, Rhino, Burt Macklin, and Moose in a Monsters Ball match.
Burt Macklin FBI?
Yes.
This is the worst possible match I could ever get, but PCO's in it.
PCO's in it. And it's in a hardcore match, so you know he's going to be...
There's going to be a staple in his head.
Yeah. And there's going to be what's called a Call Your Shot Gauntlet match, which is their version of a Battle Royal. like a Royal Rumble. It's going to be 20-person, intergender, and the winner will receive a trophy and a contract they can invoke anytime within 1 year for any type of championship match of their choosing. Okay, so far in the match, you have Jake Something, Dirty Dango, Champagne Singh, Eric Young, Jordan Grace, Brian Myers, Shira, Kylan King, Jody Threat, and Bully Ray.
You know who's winning.
Oh, Jordan Grace.
Yeah, you knew right away she's gonna win.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be interesting, because they haven't announced all the participants yet, wouldn't it be interesting if her husband, Jonathan Gresham,
and her are the last two people left,
and she eliminates him?
Jonathan Gresham versus Taiji Ishimori. That's the match I want.
Yes, please. But this Bound for Glory card is looking pretty stacked. Impact is doing some fantastic things. Like,
that's amazing. That's a for real card.
Trinity versus Mickey James.
Yeah, because either Trinity wins again or Mickey James gets the title back. And no, I don't want that.
I don't really care about that. But like, I mean, your main event of Alex Shelley versus Josh Alexander. But let's talk about Chris Sabin and Kenta.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Like, for one, why is Kenta on the card? I haven't seen Kenta in a while.
Does Kenta win? Do they do that just to make New Japan happy and like have like some kind of storyline now where Kenta's in Impact for a bit?
Because if he does, Kenta's going to be like a champion everywhere. Champion in Noah, champion in NXT, champion in New Japan, champion in New Japan Strong, champion in Impact. Like,
and he won in Rev Pro, I believe, too.
Yes, he has. He's the Eastern US Redwood champion. What was?
He was what's that company called? The company from like Portland or Seattle.
Yeah, he's their champion.
Yeah, I can't think of the name.
But he's still the champion there, isn't he?
I don't know. I don't remember.
But I mean, like, Kenta, like, in this later stages of his career, he's doing some pretty impressive stuff.
He's still a great wrestler.
Yeah.
Inventor of the GTS.
Yeah. Kenta would make his okay. Yeah, he's been on Impact a few times this year. Kenta's
he was on both multiverses, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he also faced at one point, he faced Josh for the championship. So
good guy.
Yes, he is. He is. Is he he's the Defy wrestling champion.
There you go,
Defy. But yeah, he's a well-decorated champion, and that'll be an interesting match. Like, that to me is a dream match. Chris Sabin, two legends for the X division.
That's going to be mental.
Yeah. So, anything else you want to touch on before we end the state?
No, except just watch Pro Wrestling Noah.
Yes, we will make that when we do our year end. One of our resolutions for next year will be to watch more Noah and review more Noah.
Oh, I'm watching all the Noah next year.
Yes, we're going to make the effort. Maybe not review all of them, but we will be watching them. So with that out of the way, guys, let us know what you think is going on in the world of wrestling. Let us know in the comments below. If there's any topics we missed and you want to talk about it, keep those comments alive in the comments section. Talk to me over on Discord. Send me hate because I'm not a fan of Liv Morgan. So
I am.
So with that out of the way, guys, thanks again for joining us. And in the words of Kenny Omega, goodbye and good night.